Hello and welcome to road.cc. We're heading deep into the season of the falling leaves, and while it is very pretty, it does mean that winter is on its way.
To warm your soul, road.cc Recommends is back with another packed month of the finest products that have reviewed really well over the past month.
Alongside those, we've got our regular features of Cafe of the Month, a highly recommended route, helpful buying advice, and the all-important award for Product of the Month to give out.
I think it's time we got started, isn't it? I'll kick us off with a brilliant hybrid bike, the Giant Escape Zero, which comes in at well under £1,000. Here you have an aluminium frame that's set up for disc brakes. You get mounts for a rack and guards, and this flat bar bike can be made into quite a sporty machine.
Yeah, I have to say that I got to actually ride this bike a little bit before we reviewed it, and I have to say that I was impressed by the speed. You can easily take this thing on like canal paths, so throw all those things together and I reckon you've got a perfect commuter bike.
Well, the only thing to note is that the single front chainring can limit the top speed, but you've got a 42 tooth ring as standard, so you'd have to be really pressing on to run out of gears, to be fair.
Yeah, you really would have to be going for it. From a complete bike to something that is absolutely vital when building up one of your own. So Peaty's Max Grip Carbon Paste is one of those things that you need to have in your toolbox if you like to tinker with a carbon bike.
Well, carbon grip paste adds traction between carbon parts while also preventing them from getting stuck. Peaty's offering is easy to apply, provides plenty of grip and uses natural ingredients along with a recycled tube.
While you might be thinking that forking out a tenner for something that you don't actually need much of is a bit steep, the good thing is that a 100-gram tube like this will keep you going for absolutely years. If you've got a carbon seat post, handlebar, stem, or just general bike, this is seriously worth buying.
Yep, so true. Next up is Lusso's Comfort Break bib shorts. Their patented easy peasy bib top comprises two light but super stretchy braces which enable you to simply pull down the shorts at the back, squat, go, and then get going again, all with minimal fuss. Great.
So away from the easy bathroom breaks, our reviewer reported feeling very comfortable in these bib shorts, with the pad being a particular highlight. The bib straps are spaced quite wide apart to ensure that they fit around the chest area comfortably, and the overall fit is close but not compressive.
They cost £100 and feature some quality design touches such as the sewn-in print leg bands rather than the traditional silicone gripper, which I'm a huge fan of actually. Let's switch.
Absolutely. You've got to then ride your new bib shorts to a nice cafe. And funnily enough, we're going to go and see Vecchio Joe, who you might know Joe as Joe Burt. Otherwise, he spends his time, well, basically just riding to cafes.
He loves the cafe.
He's got quite a few favourite local cafes to choose from, but let's go and hear about his absolute favourite.
We've been cycling past my favourite cycling cafe for years without realising. It was only when we rode down a different road that we went through the village a different way, and we went right past it and realised what idiots we'd been. It's Balccombe tea rooms, and it's right in the middle of Sussex, and it fulfils all that you need in a cafe. There's plenty of cake inside and lots of room outside to pile your bikes. It does a good unpretentious sandwich or normal bread, and if you're willing to suffer the after effects on any of the inescapable hills out of the place, then they do a very good bowl of stodgy pudding with custard. The tea comes in a proper pot, and the lines of cake along the back wall have been the crumpling of many a resolve. I'm not the kind of rider that does the same loop over and over, or one that has to stop mid-ride for a sit-down snack, so it's by no means a regular haunt. But I have been there often enough that they know my sandwich order.
That did look like a very good one. Good choice.
Yeah. Well, this next one kind of inspired our buying advice this month. Let's take a look at the brand new Shimano Dura Ace FC-9200P power meter. There is and there isn't a whole lot new here. Shimano is claiming an accuracy within 1.5% and up to 300 hours of ride time between charges. The big thing though is that our testing suggested that they've fixed the kind of left-right balance issues. This was spot on for me. It provided what seemed like perfectly reliable data, and day to day, this is just easy to live with.
The charging port is new, using the same cable as the Di2 gears, and is still a really neatly integrated design.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest thing about the R9200P power meter. I can't do that now. You get to use your Shimano chainrings, and the shift quality that they provide is brilliant. As a standalone unit, it'll set you back 1.2 grand, which is significant, but it's pretty comparable with other dual-sided units.
Shame it had to go back with the bike, really. Now on to Neon Velo's new bib shorts. These are competitively priced at £145 when you consider their excellent quality, comfort and performance.
Yeah, so Stu had these on test and he loved the elastic interface pad and the compression from the Lycra.
The multi-panel construction creates a fit that matches and moves with your body when you're on the bike, rather than just relying on the stretch of the material. Stu found no bunching of the fabric throughout the pedalling motion, for instance, which is really important.
So Becca, the biggest question though, blue shorts for you?
I don't know about blue shorts for me, to be honest with you. I'm a fan, but maybe just not on me. I think it's a particular preference.
You've got to be confident. It's like, it's still not as big a choice as white shorts, let's be honest.
Yeah, I can safely say no more white bib shorts in my cycling wardrobe. They were there in the past, they are not now.
Were they?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, needed a lot of vanish and daz. Okay, buying advice time now, and as we move towards the colder weather, many of you will be considering a smart trainer as an investment.
Yeah, I think this is one of those real kind of divisive things. Do you go for a smart trainer or do you go for a power meter? So we'll hand over to Dave to walk you through that kind of choice between smart trainer or power meter.
Okay, well, one of the things we've recommended this month is the catchily named Shimano Dura Ace FC-9200P power meter, and at 1,200 quid it's an expensive investment, but it's an excellent add-on to your road bike if you're interested in your numbers, which is why it made the list. Now, something else you can buy for the same kind of money that will also measure your power is a smart trainer. And now that the clocks have gone back and the rain is drilling against the window, it might be that you're planning to take some of your riding indoors to keep your fitness up over the winter when you're not quite so keen to get out on the roads. So if you've got that sort of money burning a hole in your pocket and you're after numbers, which would be the best way to spend it? Well, it all depends. Hope that helps. Let's unpack that a bit. So mostly, you'll want to have a think about how you'll be spending your time. Now, if you're after power numbers, then obviously you want to firstly know what they are. Secondly, you'll want to see them improving, hopefully anyway. Now, where are you going to do that work to get stronger? Let's take two riders as examples. Firstly, me. I'm pretty invested in indoor training personally. I like to follow a plan. I do the sessions indoors, I race on Zwift, I save my outside time for having fun. Liam, on the other hand, will only ride indoors as an absolute last resort, and he spends plenty of his winter doing hill climb races and cyclocross, trying to take Strava comms on his local segments. For him, those outside numbers are important for checking progress. For me, getting fitter is more of a bonus for when I'm chasing my mates on a Sunday, and I'm not really bothered about my numbers when I'm riding outdoors. I'm not really racing much. So for me, the better investment is a smart trainer, and for Liam, it's the power meter. Don't forget that you can also use that power meter on your bike indoors. So if you wanted to, you could get a cheaper dumb trainer and use the power output from your on-bike power meter to drive whatever training app you prefer to use indoors. It's not quite as immersive an experience indoors because you won't get the trainer adjusting a resistance to simulate climbs, for example, and you won't be able to train in erg mode where the trainer adjusts its resistance to keep you at a certain power. That's really useful for structured training. But on the flip side, you can't take your power numbers from your smart trainer outside. If you want to hedge your bets, then you can keep a foot in both camps. Now, a single-sided crank-based power meter won't cost you anywhere near as much as the Shimano unit, and prices are coming down too. SRAM's new Rival Access power meter is not much over £300, so expect others to come down in price as well. For indoor training, there are quite a few good mid-range smart trainers such as the Tax Flux S and the Elite Suito that can be had for around the £600 mark. So for the price of a Shimano chain set, you could have both. Although with a single-sided crank meter, you won't get your left-right balance, as the crank meter just takes the power from your left leg and doubles it. And also, the mid-range trainers aren't quite as nice to ride as their top-end counterparts, but they're really good for the money.
Right, seeing as we've solved that, just 2 products now to look at before we get to our product of the month.
Yep, and the first is the Sundried Power Sports Bra. Anna's been testing this and her verdict is that it's a very comfortable sports bra, offering a snug fit, a comfy lower band and effective support both in and out of the saddle.
There is ventilation built in by laser cut holes, which are included in both layers of the fabric and then slightly offset to help with breathability where it's most needed and keep things modest.
Well, the real standout feature, however, is the price, costing just £22. The Sundried Power Sports Bra is such a steal, and most other offerings that Anna mentioned are at least double the price.
You can't really beat that kind of value, can you?
Absolutely, really good price there. And finally, before we turn our attention to our product of the month, the Fizik Vento Stabilita. How's my Italian on that?
Fine.
Carbon road shoes have been delighting the feet of George for the past month or so.
These are quite shiny, aren't they?
You've got to have the bold confidence to rock these, but I say embrace it.
Yeah, absolutely. What sets these apart from other cycling shoes is that they are designed to offer fully adjustable arch support alongside maximum sole stiffness and comfort. They are certainly an interesting design, however.
They are. The way this adjustability works, as you can see from the photos, is with a section cut out from the carbon sole, with the top boa dial connected to a strap that tightens from the middle of your foot all the way over the top and around your instep, securing basically at the bottom of your foot.
Away from the arch support, you get BOA's brilliant Li2 dials for micro tension adjustment. The sole is nice and stiff and the shoes are pretty light too, I'd say.
Yeah, you just need to remember that Fizik drills its cleat holes quite far forward, which won't suit everyone, but that's always the case with shoes. It's so personal.
Yeah, it's they are an Italian company. They do like the dancing on the tippy toes.
Dancing on the pedals.
Let's go now to take a look at this month's recommended route.
Matt has been taking on the tanks as he goes on a gravel ride on Salisbury Plain.
The Imber perimeter path is a 30-mile route on Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, taking in everything from grassy and sometimes muddy byways to tracks through the woods, hard-packed gravel and some road sections too. There's a huge variety on offer here and it's a whole lot of fun to ride. You could easily use a mountain bike, but we'd say that a gravel bike is by far the best tool for the job. We did a lap as a road.cc ride out and everyone had a blast. The only downside is that there's a lot of flint in some of the chalky paths. Chalk and flint tend to go hand in hand and that stuff can be really sharp. Punctures, let's just say we had a few between us. We definitely recommend sealant-filled tubeless tyres along with a decent pump just in case. If you want a cool place to finish the ride, the Rose and Crown pub in Tills Head is great.
Good of the army, not to fire a shell at him. A slow-moving target and all that.
Right. Sorry, then, time for our product of the month.
Yes, and this one is perfectly timed for the darkness that is set to be with us for the next 6 months.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that.
It's going to be great.
It'll be fine. But at least with the Ravemen PR2400 front light, you'll be able to see where you're going.
Another great name, this one, isn't it? This one I'd say is for riders kind of like me. If you like to head out for a ride through the week, but you've got to go after work or your lunch ride gets pushed back until the sun has gone down, then a bright front light is absolutely essential.
Yeah, it is. Now, the PR2400 produces, as the name might suggest, 2,400 lumens. That is plenty of power for fast riding on dark country lanes, and you can also use this light for off-road riding duties too.
So the light uses one of the LEDs with a refractive lens for the road modes and then engages the additional 4 LEDs when you select off-road mode. That means that you won't be blinding drivers or other road users when you're using the dipped beam. And then when you head off-road, you get the extra spread of light from the taller beam shape. One of the benefits of such a strong front light is that while it might be expensive at 200 quid, and it is pretty chonky, the massive power means that you've got one front light to cover both on and off-road riding, And the bonus of that massive power is that when you're riding on a lower power, like say 900 lumens when you're on the road, the battery runtime is 3.4 hours.
Yeah, really versatile. And there's also the handy addition of an OLED display, which shows you how much burn time you have left in the current mode.
All things considered, this is a brilliant front light that is rare for working well on and off-road.
Yeah, really impressive. And on that note, that's all from us this month at road.cc Recommends. If you like this video, give us a like, and as ever, if you could subscribe to the channel, that really helps. We'll see you next time.